Okay, let's talk a little bit about one rein stops because they can get confusing. Even though they seem simple, if any of you guys are like me, you can overthink the crap out of this stuff. So here's some things that you might want to throw into your just one rein stops, make sure you're doing correctly. First of all, I've already groundworked this horse. He's not just straight out of his stall, all fresh and full of beans. This is Coco. Coco's 5 years old. This is Coco's third ride with me, okay? As we're doing these one rein stops, I'm gonna keep a couple of things in mind. First of all, when I walk this horse, and I've asked him to walk, I wanna walk him around until he acts like he's gonna walk all day long. And what I mean by that is if this horse feels like he's gonna trot off at any second, I surely don't want to trot him off, okay? Right there, I squeezed him away from that pile of poop, so I'm gonna shut him down. What I wanna do is I wanna walk him and I wanna dare him to trot. Make that mistake, go ahead, big loose rein. This is the opposite of us micromanaging our horse and pulling on it all the time, right? And once I feel like, yeah, he'll walk around, he ain't never gonna trot off, okay? Until I get that feeling, I'm not gonna trot him. I may have to continue to one rein stop him for 20 minutes. I don't care. Every time I give him the opportunity to walk, he may trot off and I have to shut him down. And then we'll sit there for a second, we'll walk off again and he'll take 2 steps at the walk and he'll trot and I'll have to shut him down. I don't care if I have to do it 10,000 times. If this horse can't stay in the gate that I put it in, he's worthless to me, okay? Now that he's walking around and I don't feel like he's just gonna bust into a trot on his own, I'm gonna ask him to trot off, okay? And people talk about graduating up through the speed because, you know, you gotta let your horse get better at it and everything. And that's true. Something else, you know, if this horse isn't soft and connecting to me, you're just gonna create more problems the faster you go. So I'm definitely gonna drill him pretty hard here at the trot until when I sit down, there, you see how he just came back to me? He should come straight back to me and soften. Make sure you sit here for a few seconds. This is his reward, so give him a little bit of a break. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half, but you don't just want to stop and take right back off again. So anytime you do your one rein stops, you're also going to do a cruising lesson, a passenger lesson, a riding lesson, whatever you want to call it. So as this horse walks around, we're not steering it. I don't care if she walks straight towards the wall, walks up to the gate, tries to stick her head over the gate, all that. I don't care about that. I'm gonna let her do it and then I'm gonna squeeze, cluck, and spank her out of it and just say, hey, as long as you trot, I don't care where you go, I don't care what you do, as long as you're trotting. She's kind of circling right here. I don't care. So right up by the gate. Now, when I get off of her, I'm not going to get off of her down here and make this problem worse. Okay? I'm going to get off of her at the other end because the only reason she's doing this is because this is where the gate's at and her stall's on the other side of it. I don't care how fast she goes. I really don't mind much if they speed up. It really bothers me more if they start going too slow. I want their feet to free up, flow forward. We can worry about the slow thing later. A lot of people have problems getting their horse to go. I'm gonna sit down, slide my hand down. Now that I feel like she's gonna go, as long as I ask her to go at the trot, she's not gonna stop every 5 seconds, her feet are freed up. Now I can start focusing more on the one rein stop itself and not so much just the cruising or passenger lesson or whatever you wanna call it. So I'll walk her off, I'm daring her to trot off and make a mistake. I feel like she's gonna hold, so I'm gonna trot her off. Sit down, slide. Pull to your hip. We've all seen other people do this, but it is extremely effective. I'll wait for her to soften here. She's not really softening. There. Let's flex her again here. There. And she's still trying to grab a hold of the bit and push into the bit and all sorts of stuff. Like I said, this is day 3. Horse training is not magic. It takes time. They'll do stuff like this. See how she's just asleep there? I'll just wait. There. I want her to come in towards me and soften. Not just kind of soften. I want her to drop that nose down in there and get soft. There. I like that. If I have to pick up on my reins like that, I'm going to go like that. See how I'm just checking the length of my reins there? If I'm going to pick up, I'm going to bust her off to one side. And I'm going to try to achieve my center of my reins like so. I'm going to walk her off. So every time I walk off and trot off and lope off, it's a test. See, she's going to trot off on her own, and I'm going to shut her down. It is a test. Walk her off. And to help avoid this becoming a problem, don't just walk off with your horse and walk 3 steps and then start trotting. And then stop and then walk 3 steps and then start trotting. And then stop and then walk 3 steps, because your horse is going to get to where it predicts you and it's going to start trotting off every time because it knows it's coming. I send this horse into a trot at a bunch of different random moments just because of that. I tell people I like to ask this horse to trot off when you think she's not paying attention, she's half dead to the world, she's not ever going to trot off. She wouldn't trot off if a bomb went off behind her. She's asleep, her head's nice and low. Right when you think, man, if I ask this horse to do something right now, it may give me some problems. It looks pretty relaxed. That is the perfect time to ask your horse to do something, okay? That is the perfect time to say, okay, now let's trot. I'm not gonna let her go real far because we're focusing on that one rein stop. Always sit before you pull. You sit down before you pull on their face. You're supposed to be connecting this horse to your seat. We're not just doing a generic pulling their head around as we go. You have to sit down. Okay, we're trying to this is a foundational piece of work, and we're trying to get this horse connected to our butt. And that ain't ever gonna happen if we just keep pulling her to a stop. You'll make them really light in their face, but you're not gonna get them connected to your seat. Here again, I don't care where she goes, I don't care if she circles, I don't care what she does. I'm gonna sit down. Now I may flex her out of that circle, so if she's circling to the left, when I sit down to bend her, I may bend her to the right to try to get her to mentally even up a little bit, but that's as far as I'm going to take it. I'm not going to steer her at all. Here again, walk off. Is she going to walk? Yeah, we're trying to work out of the trot, but there she trotted off on her own. But I'm not just going to let her think that she can just trot anytime she wants because we're doing work at the trot. She's got to prove to me that she's going to walk before we're going to trot. She screwed up again, no big deal. We're going to shut her down. You got to let her make that mistake of accidentally trotting off and shut her down and start over if you ever expect her to learn it. If we just tried to hold her back, you'd have to hold her back for her entire life. We get horses hooked up to our seat because a horse should really be riding mostly off of your seat and your legs, and your hands should really be some of the last pieces that you bring in to finish off the whole situation. We get a lot done with our legs and our hands. in our seat. I'm sorry, our legs in our seat. You'll notice once this horse starts to connect to my butt and listen better, its headset's gonna get lower and it's gonna get slower, because she has to keep her head flatter to be able to give to my hand when I pull on it. And she's gonna go slower because she's gonna be a lot more mentally connected with me, and she's not gonna be so reactive with her head up, trotting around real fast. Because she knows she has to be ready. And at this stage of the game, if they get heavy on your hand, we're not bumping them off of it, okay? I want her to get soft at the end of it. And as long as she's soft at the end of it, I'm happy with that. If we were to start bumping them off of it, it creates too much of a startled effect right now, to where it's gonna be really hard for her to think about what's going on with my seat. She's gonna be more worried about her face. So it's just a nice smooth pull. See there? I don't care where you go, just stay trotty. Sit down. Okay, and this is day, what'd I say, 3 for her? I don't care how long this takes. This can take 10 to 15 days. I'm totally okay with that. I don't expect this horse to learn this entire exercise in one day. See how she's starting to come back to my seat there? I mean, if she learns it in 3 to 5 days, great. But if it takes 10 to 15 days, so be it. There's no way around it. It's foundational work. You don't want to skip it. You don't want to rush through it. This is some of the, you want to be more thorough with this, with these parts, than maybe any other part you work on. You know, your one rein stops, your cruising / passenger lesson, and then teaching them to follow their nose. I'm going to give her a chance to screw this up. See how she kind of raised up like she was maybe thinking about it, and then she lowered back down. That's the look of a horse correcting itself. Okay? She was like, I'm thinking about trotting off. Then she was like, he's just going to shut me down again. I'm just going to walk. Okay? That's why we do that like that. You'll never achieve that. You'll never get your horse to think like that if you're constantly just, this horse, I can feel that it's going to trot. Its walk's getting faster. Let's bend it in a circle or whatever. Okay? You don't want to do that. Trot her off. You don't have to post. I just like to post. It exaggerates your movement. It's good. It's good to help build your seat. It's good to help you with your balance. See how when I sit down, she's starting to come back to me? That's what I'm looking for. She starts doing that real consistently, then we'll move on to the lope. But be in it for the long haul. You really want to get these type of reactions out of your horse? Be willing to go 10 or 15 days. When I'm up here and I'm doing this type of stuff, in my mind, I'm thinking, sometimes I gotta pump myself up, because everybody wants everything to happen right now. And so do I, okay? But I just tell myself, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it takes a month. You are gonna get connected to my seat, and we are gonna go through it properly, okay? We're gonna start at the walk, and then we're gonna go to the jog, and then we're gonna go to the lope. I don't care how long it takes, because like I said earlier, if you won't go when I tell you to go and stop when I tell you to stop, you're worthless to me. I may as well go buy a four-wheeler or a dirt bike and ride that. Focus on your timing as a rider. Post, sit down, 1, 2, 3, pull. So it's almost like a dance. We're gonna post, we're gonna sit down, 1, 2, 3, slide, pull to my hip. And I use that same timing every single time. Just not quite giving as much as I wanted to give. There. Nope. I hope that helps you.